Well, one of the reasons that so many versions have been made of the film is that you can't keep a public domain character down. You know, like Dracula, Frankenstein's monster is ingrained in our consciousness, and anybody can do anything they want with it. For example, this is a book, We Belong Dead, which was a line from The Bride of Frankenstein that with the monster realizing I shouldn't even exist. Frankenstein on film. Well, it looks at about 100 years of Frank films, as I call them. And the monster is one of those great archetypes in literature, and adapts itself very well to film. One of the things that we like in our movies, it's fun to be scared. It's fun to watch monsters go crazy because we know that Frankenstein really is fictional. Although with genetic engineering today, who knows what they're going to do? But the archetype of Frankenstein's monster, not so much Victor Frankenstein himself, but the monster, which is what we're talking about. Although the concept of the mad scientist certainly has its roots in Victor Frankenstein and is an archetype, the mad scientist by itself. But you've got this image in our culture of this monster that can be adapted and mutated in so many ways, and yet everybody recognizes it as Frankenstein's monster. And the way that they did the makeup in the original Boris Karloff, with the little deals on his neck and you know the sort of square head and that kind of thing, has been adapted over and over and over again because it works. It's a recognizable image for everyone. It's worldwide. And so, like Dracula, Frankenstein's monster has become this character that resonates with us. And again, the concept of science gone wrong. Are we meddling in affairs that we shouldn't be, doing anything with? Are we playing God, basically? And that's, those are honest to goodness bioethical questions, medical ethical questions, whatever you want to say, that we should be asking. But, science has a way of just doing what it does without moral considerations. And I think the story of Frankenstein helps put back some of that morality, and that's why it's even more relevant today because of genetic engineering. And the character, there's over 100 different films with Frankenstein's monster. Everything from Frankenstein's daughter to Frankenstein versus Dracula to a giant Godzilla like Frankenstein in Frankenstein Conquers the World, or Frankenstein versus Baragon, which is another title for it. I mean, it's just this archetypal monster, and people like to be scared. It's fun, and monsters are fun. And so, like Frankenstein and Dracula, so there's that kind of consideration that has come into play so many times over and over and over again. And when you can take a character from the public domain and do whatever you want with it, it's kind of fun to do that. And the Frank movies, obviously, because there's so many of them, even Kenneth Branagh's 1994 Frankenstein have made money. And the bottom line for a lot of filmmakers is it going to make any money? But there are so many novels, in addition to film, that take that and go with it. Short stories, and so forth.
Read the